welcome to another video. Today I have decided that I'm going to take my YouTube back, roll back a little bit to the time where I was kind of doing vlogging and a little bit more fun stuff. I haven't touched my YouTube for a long old time and all those videos are on private now, so we're kind of taking it back a little bit and doing something a little bit more fun and weekly and hopefully with a few different bits and pieces. So today I decided that I was going to test out a couple of craft kits, because if you're in the crafting and arts kind of community, if you've ever been on one of those like arty people Facebook pages, I feel like the meme that goes around all the time of collecting craft kits and doing the crafts being a different hobby is something I feel in my soul. So we're going to attempt to kind of reduce the big old pile that I've got in my studio of craft kits that I never use with this series by actually using some of them. And today I thought we'd test a couple out. I've got two which are sat down by me here, one of which was gifted to me by my mother when I was having a bit of a sad to kind of distract me, and one is from my partner for my birthday. And they're both needle felting kits. Needle felting is something that I have done before, so I'll pop a little photo of that somewhere on screen so that you can see that I'm not actually rubbish at this and that I do have some experience with it. But what we're going to do is have a go at the kits. And the idea of this series that I kind of want to go with is that it is going to be just me following the instructions from the kit completely. I don't want to kind of look anything up, I don't want to look at any videos, because I want to see what the kit does just as the kit itself and not keep kind of adding my own stuff, my own flair, my own knowledge to it, because that kind of defeats the point of having a craft kit. So I've got two today. Like I say, we have this one here which is a needle felting craft kit from Aldi. This one was £2.99. and in it you get a little seahorse and a little starfish. We'll take a look at them kind of in detail, what's in them in a moment. But there's this one, and then there is also this one here. I have actually opened this and kind of had a rifle in it. This is from an Etsy seller called Rambling Weasel. I'll link them down below, and this is of a little bumblebee. I've got a little card over here. Let me show you that one if it will focus. So we're gonna have a go at both of those for this video and I'll see how I feel about them. The idea of felting anyway is that you take a needle, and the needle has a series of barbs in it, and then you take something called roving, which is kind of unweaved, I don't know what the technical term is, but unweaved wool, and you stab it with the needle with the barbs, and the hooks kind of hook that fibre together and it kind of creates this sort of three-dimensional shape. You can do wet felting, which you can sometimes do in a washing machine, but you can also do needle felting, which is the kind we have here. And I know Hobbycraft sell lots of needle felting sets too, so we're going to take a look at them, see how we go, and I'm going to start off by taking a look at what's in them. So let's go. Okay, so this is the Aldi felting kit and it is £2.99, and as you can see you get two different little dudes in there. We've got the seahorse and the starfish. It's great for beginners apparently, so this should be fairly good. So I've opened it up already, you'll see in the outtakes why that is. But in here we have got the little kind of felting cushion, which is what you stab the needle into so that you don't end up stabbing yourself or the table. We've got a packet of roving. I think this one is for the starfish by the looks of it. To be fair, that is quite a lot of roving for £2.99 with the other one that you get in here as well. So there's also this one, and this is for the seahorse. My camera's not focusing. There we go. This is for the seahorse. Got all the different colours there. So I think that'll be enough. That to me looks like, I don't know, from previous experience. And then we have this little vial here of the needles. I'm going to take those out. You get two in this kit. So you can see there, they're quite different from normal needles. We've got, come on, focus. We've got the little hooked ends here, and they are little barbs as well, you might be able to see that, and those barbs are what kind of hooks the roving together to make it into a felted shape. So there are those bits in there. There's also a set of instructions in here which aren't my favourite because they don't have any images really. You've only got the image that's on the front to follow, and I find that's like a bit like a recipe that doesn't have any photos. You're kind of not really sure what you're doing step by step. So this could be a bit of an interesting one. Sorry, my cat's just launched himself across the room there. So yeah, I don't know how good they're going to be. I don't love that, but it's got all the different things it includes and a little bit of an explanation about them. It's got some tips and how-tos. So they're not the worst instructions ever. I appreciate the fact that there actually is instructions, because a lot of the time with these kinds of things, the instructions are absolutely pants, or there are none at all. But they're interesting English. We've got, your kit includes roving fibre, needle felted seahorse and starfish. Needle felting turns soft roving into solid 3D shapes. So yeah, we'll see how good these are. But to be fair, I'm pretty pleased with all of this stuff here. That's not too bad at all. So let's shimmy that off to the side now and grab the Etsy kit. So this is the one from Etsy. It's in a bit of a nicer bag. It did have a string in, but Banshee managed to steal that. It's got this nice little floral emblem on the front, and this has got a few different bits in as well. And this is the one that I think was $12.99. So we've got here, this is a little almost embroidery hoop kind of thing, and that is the frame that you can put your finished piece on. So I really like that, and that it's got the nice kind of appropriate colours for the fact that it's a bee, very rustic. So that's really, really cool. There's a handmade little roving felting cushion as well. So the Aldi one looks like this. So it's just a bit of foam. This one's got a bit of hessian on it. So I think this is probably going to stay together a little bit better, I imagine, but we shall see when we start putting it together. We have a nice little kind of health and safety bit with the outcome on there as well. This is what we're going to be felting onto, and it's got a nice bit of like structural felt on the back, and then the hessian on the front, and then I think, from what I gather, you sew this onto your little frame here. So that's quite nice. It's nice that it's on something. I think that's quite cool. And then we have a little bag here which is full of the roving, which again is nice. It kind of keeps it into shape, I think. So we've got our yellows, we've got grey, black, and a kind of nice creamy colour, and that's a pretty good amount as well. Roving's quite expensive when you buy it from places like Hobbycraft, so not too shabby there. And then we have this nice little instructional folded envelope here, which I think has got the needles in it as well. So this is, or these are the little templates, so you can see what the image is going to be. Let's hold that up so you can see it nice and easily there. Let's put both hands there so we focus. So there's a couple of those in there, and I believe these are washable so they melt away. We've got our needles as well in a nice piece of corrugated cardboard. You'll have to excuse that horrible looking blister on my finger. So again, just two of those needles that we are working with. That bit of corrugated cardboard is quite handy, though I do really like the test tube in the other one. I think I'm going to be keeping hold of that. Instrucciones. Okie dokie. So again, these are just written instructions. We've got step by step, but there are fully illustrated instructions on the Rambling Weasel website, and you can message them for tips. So that's something I prefer a little bit more. I'm probably going to do that rather than just kind of eyeing up or looking at the photo that came on the packaging. So again, that's pretty good. I think, to be fair, we've got pretty similar stuff here. yeah, the only things that we've got in addition to this one, obviously the packaging is a lot nicer. It's a small business, so we want to support them rather than massive people. But the things that we have in this kit that we don't have in this one are the little templates and the background bits, because obviously we're not doing freestanding designs. So just the little kind of twizzly frame here, the bee, I appreciate that they give you two just in case, and the Hessian backing as well. So let's get started on making them. So we've got here, be careful when using the needle. It's incredibly sharp, so keep your fingers out the way. Watch as I immediately stab myself, which I guarantee I'm going to do during this video. Don't be too forceful because the needle can break. The more you felt, the harder it will become. Experiment with different textures, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go. So, make the starfish. Take one section of pink roving and roll it into a flat circle shape for the center of the starfish. Add a little more roving to create a raised center grab. So let's do that. So from what I remember with felting, we want little bits that we can kind of work with, and we want to sort of pull them away from the felt like that. So I'm going to start off by roughly making it into a circle myself, and then we'll stab it to death on this. I feel like that's a bit big, but it doesn't really tell me what size I'm meant to be doing, so we're gonna go with it. Take a section of pink roving and roll it into a flat circle. Yeah, no, it's not telling me how much to do, so we're gonna go with that. That feels like an appropriate starfish amount. So I'm gonna just stick that on there, and then all you've got to do is essentially just stab for a bit. And I mean, you can kind of already see how that's coming together, and we're just going to do this and shape as we go. So I will see you when I have a small flat circle shape for the center of our starfish. I'm actually going to stop here. I remember not reading on this one, but reading somewhere that the roving can stick to the pad that it's on, so that you should kind of floof it about and move it every so often. So I've just done that. Let's see how it goes, and we'll go on to a time lapse now. So my camera died and I've just got it back going again. I've got this so far, which I'm kind of, I don't know. The felting mat isn't great. It kind of adheres itself to the felt, and I've got so far as to make a leg. Now this was a bit of a nightmare, and this is essentially what I'm doing to it, but that was a bit of a pain, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get any symmetrical versions of that. And I feel like that kind of so I'm gonna finish off some more legs, and then we'll see what the situation is. But I feel like me saying that the starfish was the easiest was a lie, because I've got to make 5 of the same thing. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm 3 legs down now with the Aldi kit, and one thing I wanted to show you, which I'm not loving, is, you can kind of see it coming through here, is as I am making all the bits, it did say that you wanted to rotate them, and I have been doing that, but as you're making all the bits of the felting cushion are kind of pulling out from underneath as I'm taking them off. So you can see there's a bit there, there's some bits there as well, so that's not too great. I'm not loving that, because I'm having to kind of pick those out as I go. The tentacles are quite hard to make because I'm having to make them all exactly the same, but I'm going to keep cracking on with it and see how we go. But yeah, this is one thing I did want to mention. I think this is probably going to be better when we look at the Etsy kit, because the Etsy one has Hessian over it, which is going to stop presumably that happening. So maybe if you do get this one, it's probably a good idea just to cover this with something. I don't know what would be the greatest, but I can feel already it's really, really hard on the edges where I haven't been felting, and then in the middle it's super squishy where I've been pushing down. So this is not great. Not loving this at all at the moment. So I finished doing whatever it was that I was trying to just do, and oh my god, I hate this so much. It looks so ridiculous. I'm out of pink roving, so this is what we've got. It's kind of not really stuck together. It's super wonky. I've got absolutely no idea how I'm going to even attempt to fix this, but the problem is this is so soft that there's just no way I'm going to end up with this result, because every time I'm pressing it it's just kind of disintegrating, like up here. So yeah, I'm not hoping for that, but I'm going to try and make this less awful. Oh my god, it looks so much worse when you compare it to the photo. Oh, let's add some eyes and face and mouth and see if we can salvage this. Oh, I feel like it'd make a better sort of weird cursed Patrick star. I've put you back on a tripod so you can see this properly, but I've got my bit of eye fluff and it's telling me to just put it on and go for it. But when I'm rolling it up, once I've rolled it, I'm kind of trying to hold it and stab, but it's doing nothing. It's really hard to hold and stab, and then as soon as I'm doing it, it's lifting. Oh, it's a nightmare.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
So last night, unwilling to be defeated by this felting and the sleep paralysis demon starfish, I decided I was going to try the bee, which came out really successfully. I'll show you that in just a moment, but what I'm going to do now is put this onto this, and I'm going to do it in a slightly different way, I think, because with this one this is my own fault, but you're meant to line it up with your little hook frame and pop it in the center here. Now I've kind of done it a bit of a wonk, so if I were to do it on the edge it'd be really close to the edge of the hessian, and I'm worried that because the bit of felt on the back isn't as close to that as I like, that it might fray. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is grab a pencil, outline this, and then use the old crafter's friend of a hot glue gun, which probably won't look as good, but I'm not going to be looking at it from the back, so I'm hoping that is going to work. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll have a compare of both of the kits, I think. So let's roll on to that. So overall, the general feel of this kit was just way nicer. I had so much more fun doing this one than the other two, and I think that's partly because, one, the needles were way better. The ones in the Aldi one ended up bending, but this one was really sturdy, and the pillow as well really helped because it didn't kind of come apart as I was doing it. As you can see here, I'm kind of stabbing in some of the yellow, then I go in with some different colours. I took some creative license and actually strayed a little bit away from the illustration. I was looking at my cushion, which also has bees on it, and they had little fluffy white butts, so I wanted to add that to mine, and I also added a little bit of shadow as well. And then the most fun part of this kit was by far washing the water-soluble paper off in the sink, and once I'd done that I just popped it to dry overnight, and then I was able to put it all together. So we've got a little bee here, and I'm really pleased with how that turned out. That's definitely a lot better than the other one, and the little frame that it came with. So what I think I'm going to do is take this Posca and mark a few points around the outside. I say, as this Posca just fails to work, mark a few points around the outside. Then I'm going to glue gun the piece onto this, because otherwise, as I say, I think we're going to get some really bad fraying. So I think this is probably going to be our best bet. Okay, so it is the next day from when I made the craft kits. I look the same because I filmed the intro and this one in the same day, but you can see what kind of things happened during that session. We had a bit of a mixed bag with this one. I feel very unsuccessful with the first one, but I can felt. But let's take a look at what we've got. We have sleep paralysis demon starfish with his sad face. I tried to do the rest of the little dots, but I just could not get them to stick. I feel like the back has felted a lot better than the front, and I was just not in love with this kit at all. I haven't tried the seahorse. I might do that and kind of reassess the situation. But we also have our finished bee as well. You can really see the Posca pen lines on camera, but you can't really see them in person, which is really odd. But we have our little bee as well. So I'm going to wipe off those Posca pen lines, but overall I'm super happy with how this one turned out. I'm really pleased with the look of the little bee. I was really pleased with that kit, and as you can see, it matches all of my cushions and things behind me. So this one I'm really pleased with, and I'm really glad because it's a small business, so go support small businesses. And this one as well, I have lots of Hessian left. There's another template that came with the little kit as well, and the roving that it came with, I could definitely do another one of these bees. So you could 100% make another one of these. You wouldn't have the little frame, but of course you kind of put it in whatever you wanted to as well. This, on the other hand, not a fan, and I think the reason why this ended up being so tricky is because it didn't kind of come with a structure underneath. The one I did of the bird that I showed at the start that had the kind of real three-dimensionalness came with a styrofoam structure that you could build on top of, and this didn't, so I found it really difficult to get any kind of form with it. And although I used all the roving that came with it, it's super flat still, so I'm kind of taking this one as a bit of a dud. I mean, I'm sure there's people who do needle felting in the comments who could give me loads and loads of tips and tricks, and please do. If you do have comments and tips and tricks, leave them below. But yeah, I just this one wasn't great. What I might do, what I'm kind of tempted to do, is to have a go with the seahorse, but to use the needles that came with this kit, and to use this pad as well, because this one's a lot sturdier, and I was finding that as I was felting, it wasn't pulling the pad apart. So I think to give this one a bit of a fair chance, what I might do in a different session is give that a go as well, but we shall see. So overall, super pleased with this one. I would highly recommend Rambling Weasel's kit. There is a video as well as lots of photos that give you a guide on how to do this if you're not sure. The Aldi one, I guess if you were kind of just wanting to experiment, or if you know how to do needle felting and you have some other supplies and you just get this for the roving, you get a bunch of roving for $2.99. So I would definitely recommend that. But that is our video for today. Banshee is just about to catch a fly behind me, so I will get going before he does anything too dastardly on camera. But thank you for watching. Please do feel free to subscribe and like this video. Ask any questions, any tips and tricks, comment them down below. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter, whatever you want to do, and I will see you next time, everyone. Bye!
You really are in the way. Yes, you. Down there. Table cat. Stick in the food.